Okay, we're live. This thing here just exists. It keeps coming back. See? Oh well. Minimize this. Will it still be there? Like will it still videotape it?
I don't know. Mine did, but
Okay, so we'll just use yours. And so yeah, talk about your questions.
all right. You want to say the prayer?
Yeah, I'll say it. Heavenly Father.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Oh,
It says it's live, right?
yeah. Sorry.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Please enlighten Paul's mind as we go over this case and say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Alrighty. So, spiritual thought. Do you have anything? Amy has something. Yeah, this is part of school. What did I read last night?
What did I read this morning?
Oh, I read D&C 121.
That's about marriage, right?
No, that's about Joseph pretty much complaining to God, like, "Oh God, where art thou?"
Oh, yeah.
Because people just got persecuted, harm villages happened, he's in jail, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, then just God reassuring him that he's always going to be there, and that in our time of trial, stuff like that. It's just like a small moment. Anyway, it's kind of what I feel about this
It
class.
shall be for that good. That's like the devotional yesterday. Good. But it was good. But it talked about that. He talked about how like God is in the details of our lives. And every single little thing is like, wasn't that right, Amy? Like every little thing that we're dealing with right now, like it's not like planned out by God, but it's leading us to something
that has planned for us.
that He has planned for us.
Because one way that I always look at it is that, like, there's like different checkpoints that God wants us to get to. Like, the stuff in between He doesn't really care about.
Yeah.
Like when I was coming to school, like I prayed about all these different schools, and I never got like a, this is the one you're supposed to go to. It was just like, yeah, you can do it if you want to. Yeah, you can do what you want to.
Yeah.
Like that's why He doesn't care where you go to school or whatever. Even like with you married, it's your choice. So I just think it's kind of interesting. Checkpoints, right?
Checkpoints.
Okay. Choose a student to read the following aloud as the group follows along. So far in the course, we have seen a few common threads and takeaways. You want me?
Yeah, just read those.
All right. Founders matter. Experience, passion, and vision share the business and can make the difference between success and failure. Business plan, the beginning stage of the company, is a collection of hypotheses. In other words, guesses. Oh, guesses. Startups create value by systematically testing hypotheses and making changes to the plan when the test results indicate a need to change. So we're basically scientists, except for we make money instead of save lives.
We're business scientists.
Early tests tell us a lot about the viability of a business and where more information is needed. Previous cases analyzed business models the founders had already chosen. Now we get to see a company at the moment of choice.
All right. Vote which business model you would favor. Personally, Paul and I both chose the same business model, and that was the data analytics. Because, well, we'll go into that more in depth, but it was kind of interesting because that's what I thought personally, and then Paul thought that same thing.
The vote was unanimous.
It was unanimous.
To give each person who voted a chance to share why he or she voted the way they did. The choice is left without someone voting for it. Discuss as a group the pros and cons of that choice as well. Specifically for each alternative, discuss the following. Hey, became my cord. It's in the floor behind you.
So my reasoning for this was I liked kind of the big determining factor for my reasoning was like this is a new thing that's never been done before. Analytics, like they'd be selling or renting their machine out at a really low cost and then collecting all that data. So database, like they refer to it as the Google of data sequencing, which I thought was really cool. It's a new thing. It, I think personally, I think it'll take a lot longer to generate revenue than if they just the other two options. But I think in the long run, it will be a lot more lucrative for them.
But that's kind of what I thought too, is because like the revenue stream, like they're going to be down in the red for a while, a lot longer than the other two. Like if they started out with the first one doing the traditional strategy and just going out and selling their products right away, they're automatically going to be bringing revenue and getting back up into the red or out of the red. The problem with that though is like what we kind of discussed, there's other people that did that, where they sold a lower cost product. And these bigger companies choked them out of the market by lowering costs for a little while until they just couldn't compete at all because the big companies' names are already established and the little ones aren't quite yet. Even though the product's cheaper, the other company can match them for a little while and still be successful. The reason why I chose the data analytics one was because I didn't like the razor one either. Like I thought that was a good one. By offering it a lower cost, like it's still not cheap, but it's cheaper than everybody else. Mm-hmm. It was going to still have that same effect of opening up new markets and making them available for like universities, smaller clinics, hospitals, that kind of thing, which is great. But the part that well, no, I liked it too. They're going to basically generate most of the revenue off the cartridges, right? So that way they have a residual coming in for a long time. The cartridges are a little bit more expensive, and that's how they're going to make the money. Problem with that one though too is that like their name is not known yet. Yes, their product is going to be cheaper to sell the machines for, but like they're not in the industry right now. So again, they still would have been operating in the red for a while until the name got out there. More people finally did buy their machines, and then they'd be making money. This data analytics one, slightly cheaper. At the same time, they're adding the data in there to be able to sell that to research companies for R&D projects and to universities and continue to collect that data. So I think that one's a better one because it kind of combines the razor to razor one and this new idea of like the data analytics. Like I said, it's new. They're going to open up like basically a new industry that's never been there before. Mm-hmm. And usually if you have a good idea, you're the first one there, you can dominate that market for a long time and kind of make most of the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, whatever the guy's name is, Ragnar,
the second guy?
The first guy, his name I can't pronounce.
Oh, the Iranian guy.
Yeah. He said that business money wasn't the focus anyway. He just wanted to help.
That's good. Okay, so Paul, tell me this.
All right.
If you were to increase sales and hold everything else equal, time payback, what would it do? Would it increase, decrease, or remain the same?
So it's going to increase sales
and hold everything else equal. With our strategy that we chose of the data analytics, if we increase the sales, time to pay back would definitely, I think it would, their time to pay back would increase.
The increased sales?
Well,
they're still selling it for kind of a smaller profit, but
smaller profit / renting it out, so they're not really making a lot. Well, maybe
they're still making money off the cartridges, still making a little bit of money off of the renting it out or selling it, but it is a lot less money. The thing that I think though, at the same time, they got to remember is that they're going to open up new markets that weren't available before.
Mm-hmm.
Because before, it was just the high-end rollers that could afford these machines because they're in a six-figure range.
This is true.
Their approach was like, hey, let's make these affordable so everybody can get these.
But also, as we learned from the data, there are other companies that are making them affordable.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're not
Again,
completely dominating this market.
No, and again, that's where their data analytics side of the company would really be the game changer.
Yeah.
And so I think if they increase sales, like time to pay back's gonna probably decrease. Well, they're also gonna be producing more. No, yeah, I think time to pay back will decrease because they gather that data more quickly, obviously, too.
That's a good point.
And then they can launch their website or their database more quickly. So I say that, increased sales, yeah, time to pay back is going to decrease.
Okay. Okay, so I agree with you on that, Paul. Decrease. I think that's kind of the same with everything, though. If you increase sales, well, not everything. Well, if you increase sales, with the third option, the data analytics, they're going to want to increase sales a lot because they want to gather that data faster.
Yeah.
So I think, definitely increasing sales would decrease the time to pay back. So I was wrong on that first part, but that's okay. What is this?
The picture didn't show up.
Okay. Curve below, which segment represents the highest burn rate? Well, I don't know why it doesn't show up.
Picture's not there, so only we're gonna do that.
Well, the highest burn rate, that would be down here. So it's how fast they're burning money.
I'm guessing it's going to be A to B, even though there's not a picture
in the red. Yeah, because it, like they showed us in the graph there.
How's everybody walking?
This is a big discussion. Yeah. Okay, what strategies have we seen that flatten or lengthen the cash flow curve? Specifically, try to draw the cash flow curves for Dr. John's products, Rent the Runway, and Dropbox as we would describe in the cases. Just make a rough guess as to the shapes of each of these cash flow curves.
I think
well, each one of the cash flow curves, let's see.
Which one was the one with venture capitalists? What was their company called?
I don't remember.
I can't remember either. Oh yeah, it was like A16Z or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, I guess that one wasn't an option, but I feel like that's one of the ones that would lengthen or flatten the cash flow curve because they're investing all this money and they don't see return on that money for a while until that company sells or something that's they're acquired or whatever. And so I think that'd be one example of like having to wait a while for your curve to increase. With Rent the Runway, like they would be down in the reds. The cash flow curve is going to dip down
because they're buying all these designer dresses.
There's going to be a big burn rate at first, but they only have to rent out the dress about 6 times, I think they said.
So the burn rate's going to be a lot less than Dropbox, than Dr. John's products.
Dropbox is probably one of the worst ones out of all of them, I felt like.
Yeah? Why?
It was my least favorite one because they didn't keep updating. Basically, Google Docs came out and does the same exact thing. It's a little bit different, obviously. But they only had so many subscribers, right? So they have like, they said they had so many million subscribers, but only like 7% or 10% of those people actually were paying subscribers. And so because they had so few people actually paying, like, I don't feel like it was as beneficial as it could have been. And so because of that, I feel like it was also being one of the flatter cash flow curves.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to spend all this money to update their computers. Because computer systems and databases are updating every single year, all the time.
You have to be on your game.
And it's a lot of money to keep a team doing that all the time, too, especially if they don't have as many subscribers. Next, describe to each other what would happen at Dr. John's if they had decided to build on an independent color rather than get acquired. What activities would John have to do differently? What impact on the cash flow curve would these activities have? Flatten or steepen? Shallow or deepen? Increase or decrease the time to payback?
Okay, so Dr. John was the spin brush, right?
Yep.
So if they decided to build an independent company rather than get acquired, I think their burn rate would be a lot higher and their cash flow curve would be a lot flatter. Because, like we talked about Crest, right?
Yeah.
Crest, didn't they already have some type of a spin brush?
They had a higher tech version that cost like $30 to $60, something like that.
So how easy would it be for them to come out with a less expensive model?
That's something we don't know. Because I do believe all their products were still produced in the U.S. That's where Spinbrush kind of had a leg up on everyone. They were producing theirs out of China. That's why they could sell them for $5 and still make a profit.
Yeah.
And so I think that they could have outsold everybody had they kind of increased production and everything like that. But
I just say it would be flatter because I think these other companies would have a leg up on them.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. Again, because their name isn't known very well. But at the same time, so an example I think we could kind of compare it to is like the MP3 market back when we were like in high school and junior high and whatever else, right?
Yeah.
Like the high tech thing was the iPod, right?
Oh yeah.
It was like, oh my gosh, that thing's so cool. And they're like $300 to $500 for a little box.
Yeah.
And this is back before their color or anything like that. But I remember when like the new ones, the little rip-off versions that hold like 30 songs or something like that came out, and it was like $20 or $30. I'm like, I want that. Yeah. And a lot of people bought them because like, oh, it's still an MP3 player because MP3 was a big new thing.
Yeah.
Like, so people still bought a ton of them. Kobe was like this random little like electronic company that nobody ever heard of. It was like the rip-off of Sony.
Mm.
Way rip-off of Sony.
Yeah, I remember. I've heard of that.
And so, but they still made money because so many people buy their cheaper products. And I feel like it probably would have been the same with Dr. Spin.
That's a good point.
And I think you're right. The curve still would have been flatter because there's higher quality products like Crest and all the other big Colgate and stuff like that. So,
okay,
I agree with you.
Sweet. Okay, Rent the Runway. If the founders had been able to convince the dress designers to retain ownership of the dresses, what impact would that have made on their cash flow curve? Okay, so Rent the Runway, they decided to buy the dresses themselves, right? To own them themselves because the companies were too leery of lending out their dresses.
Yeah.
So if they did, like, what was it?
And buying the dresses, like, had the design just kept the dresses and like paid a transactional fee.
Okay.
And rent it out basically. I think that their cash, or what's it called, their burn rate would have been way smaller because they're not having to buy the same dress in 1,000 different sizes and 1,000 extras. It would have been way smaller, but I also think that their
curve wouldn't be as steep.
Yeah, the curve would not be as steep on the incline either. I think it'd be very flat.
Yeah.
Because you're making some kind of money off it. You don't own the dress, so you can't charge your own prices, and all the money you do make, you're still paying back a part of that to the designer company. And that's the reason why they're letting you rent their dresses out.
Yeah, I think it was a great option or a great idea for them to just buy the dresses. Because it's harder for them to keep up with the styles and stuff, but to them rather than giving it back to them.
Exactly right, into their pocket. Plus, they were still getting the dresses for like a quarter of the price of what they were actually worth.
Yeah, because based on the idea of like the people becoming more loyal to the brands, right?
Yep.
That's why. So I think that was genius.
Yeah, I think it was probably the best option.
Okay, what decision did Drew Houston make in Dropbox that favorably impacted the cash flow curve?
I don't even remember. That was like the first one we did, wasn't it?
No. Oh yeah, maybe it was. I don't know.
Okay. Now let's look at the choices gynopsys has from a cash flow standpoint. For each business model option under consideration, compare the following. Net present value. If some of these options have similar net present value, what is riskier? Is it advisable to take additional risk for similar net present value? So net present value, that's like what they're worth if they were to be sold or acquired right then and there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if some of the options have for similar net present values. So some of these companies, they can go ahead and sell out, and they're going to make money off of the fact that like their idea and their company were bought, their name, whatever. But they're going to miss out on all of the revenue they could have made and their market share and everything else like that. Because now basically all that is going to go to one other company whoever acquired them. It's easier, it's a quicker way to get your money if you're going to start a company, but in the long run, like you're going to lose that. Like, see, like the people that helped start Facebook, if they hadn't been cut out of the business, like had they just decided to sell Facebook back when it was a tiny little thing, like they would have lost a lot more because now Facebook's one of the most profitable like websites in the whole world. And so the opportunity cost would have been like the bazillions and bazillions and bazillions of those dollars they made.
Yeah. Well, which option would be the most risky out of the three options?
Risky one is always going to be expansion, in my opinion, because you're going to have to get more money. You're going to have to bet on the market staying
like on the options,
favorable.
On the options for the gynopsys.
Oh, which one's most risky?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think the
middle one was.
I think the first one was.
First one is going. Yeah, you're right because
they kind of mentioned that.
They talked about how the other people that tried to do the same thing were choked out of the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
I think the middle one too, the razor to razor one. Like it's a good idea, but eventually they're just going to be the low tech end of the market instead of the medium or high tech side of it.
Yeah.
And so.
Okay. How will gynopsys raise funds to support each option? Is there any option clearly more attractive to investors? So what we're into. Okay.
I think the last one would be more attractive because it's new.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
it's never really been done before that way.
It depends on what the investors are after. They're looking to make the most money in the long run. Like, yeah, the last one's going to be the most favorable. If they're looking to invest and get a return on it right away, then just doing the traditional model, doing sales for a little more expensive, and having someone else acquire them because they're taking part of their market share, that's going to get them. That's going to get money quickly. Probably not the most money.
Yeah.
So I still think the last option is the most favorable for them.
Okay. So how will they raise funds? Well, it talked about how they raise funds. I mean, they raised a lot. They raised a ton.
They have 700 through grants, $700,000 they could spend a month.
Yeah. That was their burn rate, yeah. So they raised, I mean, they had angel investors, they had ventures, they had grants, they had so many things. So I mean, I don't really know what that question is asking. Okay, for each option, how much of the company will the founders have to give up to reach the goal? What does it mean by give up?
Because you have to give up the company to get people to invest in it.
Okay.
So like Jared Chappell with his company Pinnacle. So he sold the company for $1 billion, right? his own personal take home was only 50 million. Now that's still a ridiculous number. But when you think about the $1 billion that was up there, he gave up a large chunk of the company.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
overall, I don't. Let's see, how much is that? We go
Like 950 million. Oops. He gave up.
at 950 million.
But 50 million is pretty good. I can live off $1 million a year for the rest of my life because I'll probably die at 75. 75 is a good age.
Yeah, but if I invest the billions, then I can.
So Jared Chappell had to give up 95% of his company. 5% was $50 million. So they probably have to give up a lot because their burn rate is $700,000 a month, and to be able to get that website up and running, so they can actually start selling the data. Again, that's going to be more money to be able to sustain the company that long to get that all together. So that's the big downside. It's going to take longer to get up, so they're actually making money.
Okay.
But I still stick by the choice. Sure, Google is similar.
Yeah.
Google.
Okay, you must decide as a group which business model you choose. Be ready to explain this choice. Okay, so we talked about that the whole time. Yeah. Option 3. Sweet. Okay.
It was good talking to you.